Good evening. Tonight, I've already started this because of the time factor, as we always find out. So, this is going to be a tree here, of course. In that passage, there's several things that Jesus goes over. One of them is not to worry about what you will eat or what not to worry about what you'll eat or what you'll drink or what you'll wear. Now, when he sent the disciples out, he sent them out pretty much with nothing. He told them to not take anything with them. And when they went to the towns or the cities, they were to be housed by, they said if nobody would take them in and feed them and stuff, give them a place to sleep and all that during the time that they were there, that they should just shake the dust from that place off of their feet and move on. The reason being that if that was the case, then they really weren't ready to hear. If they wouldn't help the disciples, then they were not ready to hear what God was telling them. This, as he was telling them, but at this point we're still close to that Sermon on the Mount. He may be speaking still in the sermon. But he tells them, don't worry about what you're going to eat. If you follow him and if you believe in him, he's going to provide that. But you have to trust. Okay, so I'm putting some green in the grass here just to hopefully get it a little more realistic. Grass comes in all kinds of things. I mean, there's the example he used most. Well, I wanted more yellow. The example he used most was the bird, because he said, don't I clothe the birds? Don't I feed the birds? That's the example he was using, so that he illustrated things that way when he was talking a lot of the time, because he wanted them to understand that it wasn't all just, just philosophy. I mean, yeah, there's philosophy, but it's also in reality. There's all kinds of herbs and stuff that grow if a person really, needs to find something. We just don't have time for that. If I were doing a flower, I probably would, but so there's the song, His Eye is on the Sparrow. That's what that song is about his eyes on the sparrow. So we know he watches us. He's watching after us. So why should we worry so much? There's really no need for it. But we do. I mean, I'm a worrier. I used to worry about every little thing. And it was so hard. It's hard for a worrier to give things up to God and just let Him. Believe me, I know. But there is one thing about age. As you get older, you start really getting the idea. You realize just how you're not in control of anything, really. That if you look back to learn, not to regret and stuff. But if you look and you think, how did I get through that? You're going to realize you really had no control over the outcome. So, when that's dry, I'm going to go over it with a bit more of a lighter green. In fact, quite a bit more. All right. I want to let this dry, and then I'll be back, and I want to put a bird in that tree. Now, you know, a bird can put a nest in that tree, and that's their home. And the tree is their shelter. The nest is a shelter for them and their chicks. There's food down here all over the place. So anyway, I'll be back. Now, we know that when grass gets as tall as this is, look how far up the tree it goes. It puts out its little seed pods, and that's what those are. And we know birds love to eat seeds, so I am going to try if I want to work on the bird. Let's make it a yellowish brown if we can. Or yellow and brown. Oh, that was supposed to be a little tufted, but it's not. Well, my bird is sad, but what's new? And we'll call this a nest. No, we won't, because it turned green. Anyway, the bird has feathers. Even if they're not the most beautiful feathers in the world, that bird has feathers, so it has clothes. But so do flowers. And that's something else that he mentioned. He said, look at the flowers out in the fields. And the beautiful colors that they have. He's clothed the flowers very well. I still think I'm going to change the name on here to Shaky Hands Art. Okay. Well, I just don't want to take. Well, I didn't make my target on that one. So there we are. We have a bird. He's dressed us all up for us much better than I did. But the thing is, why worry? He's provided food and shelter and clothing for the birds. And there is in another different passage in one of the Gospels, does talk about it being a sparrow, And the beauty of those flowers, look how well they decorate our earth. So I'd do better taking a picture, yes, but then I wouldn't have as much fun. And neither would you. So we are going to enjoy what I did. Well, I'm not on camera tonight because I am a mess. I have had a really bad pain in my side today. Every time I lift my leg or stand up a different way. So I just plain didn't get in the tub. We'll put it that way. But hopefully I've made this interesting. And there are so many things that Jesus preached on in there. One of the most important, I think, was to lay your treasures up in heaven, not on earth, because we talked about those who will stand up in the synagogue and pray really loud. I mean, there's nothing wrong. Our pastor prays from the pulpit, and that is fine. Because that brings us together, and he isn't, but there's one where he talks about the rich man up at the front praying really loudly that he is not as bad as that sinner in the back, that poor guy in the back who is dressed badly and doesn't have as much to give. And he said, don't let your right hand know what your left hand's doing. Yes, in other words, be humble. I mean, I know when offering is taken in our church, the only person who knows if anything's been signed or what came from who, our treasurer is the only one who knows. And the person who gave it. So, that's the idea. But tonight I wanted to do the do not worry. Because God is taking care of the birds. He'll take care of us too. I wanted my bird to be a little smaller to fit the tree, but I guess I should have used the hairdryer, but I don't know. Some of the streaking down here in the grass I feel is appropriate because grass is different colors. And then the flowers, of course, they've got their little deals down in there. But the tree didn't turn out. It didn't turn out bad. I'm not going to start tearing apart the art because we're not to worry. And if I can do this, then God can make the message that's in that painting. So I love all of you. Be sure to smile and wave if you're out and about and make somebody feel good. And I will see you tomorrow. Or at least I'll do something tomorrow. Good night.